Yeah, friends, you're listening to 13 Folds Radio here on RI, freeradio.org. This is the voice of Mike Liberty being pumped directly into your skull, coming to you from our underground bunker deep beneath the city of Providence, Rhode Island. I'm hanging out tonight, as always, with my main man, producer, best friend, and co-host, Dave Death.
Greetings.
And happy St. Patrick's Day to boot. I don't care what day you're listening to. I'm aware that this is not live. I know how podcasts work, and I don't give a fuck. I grew up just outside of Boston, and St. Patrick's Day is the third most important holy day of the year.
What are the other two?
Christmas and Easter.
All right.
In that order. I know Easter, salvation, and all of that, but Christmas comes with a great big pile of presents.
Yes, it does.
So, happy St. Patrick's Day, my friend.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you.
Been a good one so far. Well, the boss actually brought a slow cooker and made us corned beef and cabbage at work today, so I was pretty pumped.
That's really progressive. That's a cool boss, man.
He's awesome. I like my boss.
Dude, I have a new job.
Awesome.
I have a great new boss. I've got one of those like flip-flop wearing, like show up when you want bosses now. Like
hippie?
Hippie. Yeah, he's a hippie, but he's the best kind of hippie because he's a rich hippie.
Oh yeah, those are the best kind. Like Ben and Jerry.
Right. So yeah, I mean he does like a like mandatory like 10 a.m. everybody must stop working and all hang out together. He gets like organic, like fresh ground coffee, and it's like hang out in the workroom, in the break room, and like talk at 2:00 on nice days. It's mandatory. Everyone's got to go outside and like play basketball or frisbee.
He's like a little mini Google.
It is like a mini Google. It's such a cool job. So, and I'm still going to be like fishing, I don't know, on the weekends or whatever. So I can mainline Old Man Ocean into my.
So does that mean we're not going to lose you to the sea this summer?
You're not going to lose me to the sea.
Awesome.
Yep. So many of our listeners just grown. They're like, damn, I was ready for a break from Mike Liberty.
No, I think they're happy because they can't take another 4 months of just me.
People, I've been putting up with them for 20 years. So, dude, you know what? Let's talk about St. Patrick's Day. I want to drill down. You said you had some facts about St. Patrick's Day that even I wouldn't know. And you know that I'm a trivia buff, so I'm skeptical.
All right, so let's get that out of the way then. St. Patrick was not Irish. Did you know that?
I did know that.
He was from Wales.
And he was actually a Roman.
Was he now?
Yes.
All right, here's cool fact number 2. The humble shamrock was originally a teaching tool.
For the Trinity.
Exactly.
Dude, you can't top me.
Trinity, I call it.
He was asked to describe the Trinity and the mysteries therein, and he picked up a 3-leaf clover, and he said, it's like this. They're 3 separate things, but together they all join as one.
All right. Do you know when the first St. Patrick Day parade was?
It was fucking South Boston, kid. Fucking 1975. Everyone knows that.
New York in 1760.
Wow. Dude, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's an old tradition.
I think it's bigger here in the New World than it ever was over in Ireland.
Well, now, and speaking of new traditions, for many years, blue was the color most often associated with St. Patrick.
That's because it used to be black and white photography, and people, their catalogs, they didn't know.
Well, green was considered unlucky, you schmuck.
It was considered horny. It was the horny color.
All right, for many years.
Wait, go back. I want to know. Green was considered unlucky?
Yes, it was
That's
considered
the opposite.
unlucky.
By whom or under?
Listen, it didn't. Whatever you learned about the color green in the 3rd grade was not true. All right,
dude, I went to college. We took color theory together. They never mentioned green was unlucky. Look at me, I'm all decked out in green.
Well,
it's a wonder I didn't
lucky
get...
you even made it here tonight. For many years, Dripsy. In the county Cork had the world's shortest parade of just 77 feet.
Dripsy, huh?
Yep. It was the distance between 2 pubs.
Nice. And that's all they had in the town.
The Way In and the Lee Valley. Those were the 2 pubs, and they had a parade going from one pub to the other.
That is true Irish St. Patty's right there. I love it.
Let's see. What was another interesting?
Dude, what's that one right there with the Sydney Opera House?
See, I didn't even want it. That one's boring to me. In 2010, the Sydney Opera House went green to mark the 200th anniversary of St. Patrick's Day there.
Yeah, that's fucking
In
lame.
Sydney, St. Patrick's Day was first marked in 1810.
Blah, blah, blah. Fuck Australia.
When Lachlan Macquarie, the governor of New South Wales, provided entertainment for Irish convict workers.
All right.
Don't ask me questions.
I'm sorry. I'll leave this segment in your hands.
All right. In Chicago, every year, the Plumbers Local 110 represent union dyes the river Kelly green.
I don't want to know how.
And the dye lasts for about 5 hours.
Nice.
Oh, I thought this one was cool. Traditionally, every year, the Irish leader hands a crystal bowl full of shamrocks to the U.S. president. The shamrock grown in Kerry is immediately destroyed by the Secret Service after the exchange. All right, here's the last one because you can't talk about St. Patrick's Day without talking about Guinness.
Aye.
All right,
that's true.
Guinness sales soar on St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, recent figures show that it reaches almost 5.5 million pints of the black stuff that are downed around the world every day.
That's
on
awesome.
St. Patrick's Day. It's doubled.
Do you know what that is? That's the power of Christ. You know what? You know what? That is the. Can I do my joke? That was the perfect segue to my joke.
All right, let's hear it.
I love this joke. All right, it's a little long. Just bear with me. I'm going to try to keep it short. All right. So one day, this dude walks into a bar. He sits down right at the bar there, right in front of the bartender.
It's the best place to sit if you want to drink.
If you want to drink a lot fast, right? And he orders 3 pints of Guinness, all at once. And the bartender says, "But you're sitting here alone." He says, I know what I'm doing. Just give me the 3 pints right now. So the bartender brings him the 3 pints, and he sets them up in front of the guy. And the guy proceeds to drink each pint, 1 sip at a time. So he'll go right down the line, taking a sip out of each pint until they're all gone. Finishes those, waves his hand at the bartender, sticks up 3 fingers. Bartender sets up 3 more. Guy goes on. He drinks like that all night long. He gets fucking shit-faced. Finally, at the end of the night, the bartender's like, "Listen, man, I mean, I don't care how you drink. You're obviously a good customer. You drink however you want." He said, "But the drinks will stay cold. They'll be a little fresher for you if I only bring them to one at a time." The guy says, I know about all of that. He says, "Listen," he says, "I got 2 brothers, right? Patty and Sean. Patty lives back in Belfast and Sean's out in L.A. And what we do is every afternoon, the 3 of us all go into a local bar and we all do this. And that way, me and me brothers, we're all drinking together every afternoon."
Nice.
That's what the bartender says. He says, "Dude, you know what? That's the fucking most badass thing I've heard in a long time." He sets up 3 more. He says, "Those 3 are on the house." The Irishman drinks them. This goes on for months and months and months. Every afternoon, this becomes the guy's watering hole. Gets to the point, for 4 o'clock in the afternoon, bartender's got the 3 all lined up. It's cool. The guy kind of becomes known, around there in that bar. He's that guy. Everyone thinks it's fucking cool. So one day, late spring, guy walks in. He sits down. He's got the 3 of them all lined up. And the Irishman grabs one of them and he pushes it back to the bartender and he says, "It's just going to be 2. He sits there. He just sits there and he drinks them. And as he's drinking, he kind of starts to lose it a little bit. And he holds up 2 fingers and he pours 2 more for him. And the more the guy drinks, the more he loses it. And, finally, he's fucking shit-faced and he's just blubbering like a fucking baby. And the bartender comes up to him and he's like, puts down 2 more and he puts down 2 shots of Jameson and he says, "Listen, man, obviously one of your brothers must have died." He says, "You're drinking on the house for the rest of the night. You have my condolences. The whole bar feels just terrible for you." And the Irishman kind of sobs and he tries his best to gather himself and he looks up through his tear-reddened eyes. He says, "Nah, all me brothers are fine. It's just that it's Lent and I've given up drinking." Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Classic St. Patty's.
Oh, you know what? I hope that joke didn't drive too many of you away. We've actually got a pretty good show lined up for you tonight. We got some stupid headlines coming for you. Dave has found some entertaining stories that I know nothing about, so you're going to get my reactions to those. We want to talk about the Patriots, free agency, and Roger Goodell's leadership of the NFL. And we've got a pretty big week in weed for you. We've got 3 major stories coming out of 3 different states that could change the scope of the weed discussion here in the United States as momentum continues to build. We got some new music for you tonight from a band called Fantastic Negrito and another one from Ben Harper. I think we got Ben Harper coming up right now. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 13 Folds Radio here on rifreeradio.org.
Isn't it strange that a gift could be an enemy? Isn't it weird that a privilege could feel like a chore? Maybe it's me, but this line isn't going anywhere. Maybe if we looked hard enough, we could find a back door. Find yourself a back door. I see you and I dragging your feet. You had my sympathy. The day you were born, you were born free. That is your privilege. Isn't it strange that the man standing in front of me doesn't have a clue why he's waiting or what he's waiting for? Maybe it's me, but I'm sick of wasting energy. Maybe if I look in my heart, I could find a back door. Find yourself a back door. I see you and I dragging your feet. You had my sympathy. The day you were born, you were born free. That is your privilege. I see you and I dragging your feet. You had my sympathy. The day you were born, you were born free. That is your privilege. I see you and I'm dragging your feet. You have my sympathy. The day you were born, you were born free. That is your privilege. That is your.
Shot him in the back. Now it's a crime to be black. So don't act surprised when it gets vandalized. Call it what it is, call it what it is, call it what it is. Murder. It's good cops, bad cops, white cops, black cops. Forgot to call it what it is, call it what it murder. Trayvon Martin, Ezell Ford, Michael Brown, and so many, many more. But call it what it is, call it what it is, call it what it is. Murder. Murder. Government ain't easy. Policing ain't easy. Hard times ain't easy. Oppression ain't easy. Racism ain't easy. Dear, ain't easy. Suffering ain't easy. But call it what it is, call it what it is, call it what it is. Murder. Murder. Gun control. Mind control. Self-control. We've dug ourselves a hole. And call it what it is, call it what it is, call it what it is. Murder. Gotta call it what it is, call it what it is.
Do you have
call
like
it
5 or 6?
what it is. Murder. Call it what it is, call it what it is, call it what it is.
Yeah, friends, we're back here on 13 Folds Radio on RIFreeradio.org. Dude, that song, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. That was Ben Harper? Dude, that was Ben Harper, Call It What It Is. I like that. I really dig that. That's
Yeah, I
some
wanted
good
to
stuff.
throw a little bit of bluesiness in for this show.
Yeah, dude, that's some good stuff. I gotta listen to some more of that.
Oh, you want me to play it again?
Yeah. We're gonna go to another break real quick. I hope you like that song.
Who's sponsoring this shit show?
Nobody anymore after the last few weeks. Yeah, real quick, I just want to give a shout out. You know the names by now. Our good friends over at Canacare. For everything that doesn't work, then there's Canacare. Obviously,
And that's why we don't have sponsors.
I definitely want to give much love to MBS, man, our first sponsor, our best sponsor. You guys are the best. And, of course, Green Side Up, because they're into marijuana and we're into marijuana.
You know what? They've been our boys since day one. They've been to every show.
Yeah, they have.
They've given us a lot of support.
That's true. That's true. They're always hooking us up for our raffles and everything. So, yeah, honestly, I know we make jokes during this time. I know that I try to play it like, oh, Mike Liberty's so cool, he's anti-corporate. But the fact of the matter is they do help make this show happen. And if you like this show, then go out and show some love to those people because they're a big part of it.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So, listen, man, I love when we do this bit. I hope our listeners do too. Let's do some headlines because I love the shit that you dig up from the internet. It always gets me. So if you've got them ready, I'd love to hear what you have.
Well, I have a couple out, and they're not all from today. Actually, I found a few earlier in the week, and this one I thought was interesting, and not only interesting, but it's rather informative. There was a recall issued after a mom discovered a pedophile symbol on a popular children's toy.
Dude, what's a I don't even know. What
I didn't know the pedophiles had a symbol.
that's what I'm. It's like hobo code.
I guess there on her child's toy truck. There was a symbol. It's like a circle with a big heart and a smaller heart inside of it.
Oh, and that's like the man boy love.
And I guess that's the pedophile symbol. And she didn't know. I wouldn't have known.
I wouldn't
But
have
her
known either.
older daughter is a avid Law and Order Special Victims Unit watcher,
Sure.
and she noticed the symbol from the TV show and told her mom about it.
Wow, dude. Law and Order saves another life.
So I guess that they had some pink ones that had the symbol on it. Obviously, the pink ones are for girls and
Obviously. Or gay boys.
or gay boys, yes. So they did a recall, and the spokesperson for the company released a statement. We're shocked,
Saying we didn't fucking
they
know.
had no idea. Which who would?
It's not their logo, is it?
No.
It's just a symbol they thought they could add
But
secondarily.
I guess they reacted immediately and did a recall. Clearly, we're in the business of providing high quality family
not
entertainment.
molesting children. Please say at the end of that he said not molesting children.
Oh, we just don't know if a crime was committed here.
Well, obviously not.
So they want to make sure it doesn't happen again. But anyway, yeah, I guess it's wakes you up to the horrors of child trafficking or something. I guess
You and I should develop
Yeah.
an app for smartphones that, like helps you identify pedophile symbols or other nasty symbols before you buy them. Like maybe you take a picture of the thing and it just tells you if there's a swastika on the underside. Or
something. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of bullshit. So we were talking about earlier. Everybody just wants to be offended about stuff, and it's going to always happen. Everybody's going to get pissed about no matter what you do. If you're politically correct, that's not even. You know what? We'll talk about that later because I got a couple other good ones. This one's good because my lease is actually up.
Oh,
all
so
right?
you're learning some new tricks?
Yeah, and I found this story. A
Or
tenant.
is this your way of asking me to help you move again?
No, I'm not moving. Not this one, but I'm gonna use this trick. A tenant sneaked a very important clause into his landlord's lease.
Yeah.
I guess the landlord gave him a Word file
Oh,
and just said print out the file and
Rookie
sign
move.
it. And the guy put a clause in there for a birthday cake, and it says the lessor shall provide birthday cake for leasee on the weekend closest to their birthdays, which are June 7th and February 17th. Vanilla cake is not acceptable.
Dude, that's awesome.
So I mean, it's not vindictive. It's not a harmful
No,
prank,
that's a
but
really
it's a
fun
good one.
Did he get 2 cakes out of this?
I don't know. I don't know.
We're going to need a follow-up story next week. I would love to know if this... Dude, that's... See, this is why I like the headlines that you bring. They actually... See, the headlines I bring make me feel worse about mankind and the state of the world, but the headlines that you bring, they actually reaffirm my feeling that maybe there's a spot for us in this
Well, you
universe.
know me. I love those bubbly, warm stories.
What else you got for us, man?
Here's another good one for you. Lost wallet is returned to woman's home with note criticizing her for her spending habits.
That's a double Good Samaritan.
So I guess the note that she lost her wallet and somebody found it, returned it to her home with a manila envelope and in her mailbox like 2 days earlier. The package postmarked 2 hours after she had lost her wallet also contained a letter. It read, "Shop less, enjoy more. Don't keep too much cash in your wallet. Keep your wallet safe." Needless to say, the money wasn't there. The guy took the money.
Oh, so it's just a dick move then.
Oh, yeah, and she's all pissed off. It really creeps me out that someone did something so personal and sent the items back to me.
Well, at least you got your wallet
Yeah,
back.
at least I think. I mean,
So
honestly,
there again, someone being offended. She's just mad because they took her money. You know what, though?
and it creeps her out that they would go through the trouble to teach her a lesson.
Don't lose your shit. Don't lose your shit. If you don't want someone to fucking take the money out of your wallet, don't lose your fucking
Oh wow!
wallet.
It actually he took $350 from her.
Well, maybe she shouldn't have so much cash.
Yeah, exactly. The guy made a valid point. I don't walk around with $350 in my wallet.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Here's the best part. At the end of the bizarre letter was an equally sassy note. P.S. Do your own nails. Stop splurging your money and save.
So what, did she have all her receipts in her wallet?
I guess. I don't know.
Did she lose her wallet in like 1965? I don't understand. Who keeps receipts and spends cash? Does she have a debit card?
Those are those are crazy headlines.
That's cool. That's cool.
But you know what? We got to run quick on this show tonight. So
Yeah,
you know
no,
what? Let's play some more tunes, and then let's talk about the Patriots.
Yeah, let's do Patriots, NFL, Roger Goodell, and are you going to get out? Are you doing that other one? What was that other band? Fantastic Negrito.
Oh, I'm gonna save that one for the end of the show.
All right, perfect. Well, then don't go anywhere. We've got much to tempt you with here on 13 Folds Radio on rifreeradio.org.
Yeah, I am a man, up in the air. And I run around this town and act like I don't care. So when you see me flying by the planet's moon, you don't need to explain if everything's changed, just know I'm just like you. South, South, there's blood on the wall, cause he couldn't face the truth. Oh, knock that down, leave the ground and find some space. And tell your friends, friends, you'll be back again, again, before it's too late. It's because you have no need to be sad. It really ain't there. It's because you have no need to be sad. It really ain't that bad. It's because you have no need to be sad. You still got your So I am a man, up in the air. And I float around this town, and no, I shouldn't care. So when you see us there out in the open road, you don't need to explain it, everything's changed, just know that you don't know. We call it life, oh yeah, that's what we call it. We can't call it at all, yeah, we call it life, oh yeah, that's what we call it. When you can't call it at all, yeah, we call it that's right, we call it we do it
And we're back here on 13 Folds Radio on RIFreeradio.org. Coming into our third segment, hanging out. You know what? I don't know if Dave's ready to talk about this. I don't even care if there's no more details. I just wanted to talk about it. So we're going to be going live again with this show in the near future. Yeah, we don't have any specifics. I just wanted to. I don't know. I feel like I wanted to make an announcement, Dave.
All
That's
right, so put pressure on me
Yep.
to really figure out how to master this production thing in 2 weeks.
Well, no one said 2 weeks. No one said 2 weeks. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Take it as you will. But we're gonna be going live. We used to do it live. I know we built an audience that way. And if you liked the energy of this show live, well, we're gonna be back to doing it. We'll say between now and fall. You know?
Oh, definitely, but definitely.
That's all I'm saying, man.
All
I don't
right,
want to.
all right.
I don't want to cramp your style.
Well, I mean, I'm getting better. Mistakes are further and fewer.
Fewer and further between. Absolutely. We can always go back in. I mean, it's not like anyone is going to listen to us live. We can just go back in and fix it in post production.
Yeah, it's still just going to be your dad.
That's right.
And
Hey,
I don't
Dad.
think he can. I don't think he can listen to us live right now.
Yeah, right. Well, no, it's he can figure that out. I think. I don't know. Dad,
Yeah.
you're great. You're great, Dad.
I miss him. But I still want to get it set up so we can call in. I miss talking to Spock.
Dude, you just revealed that was my dad.
Shit!
That's
All right,
never been.
Father Liberty.
You know what? You're not ready to go live.
See, I can't even do it on podcast. I can't keep a secret.
Oh, by the way, that was a new song by Group Love called Colors.
Well, that was an old song by then.
All right. It's new to me.
New to you.
And when Dave said he was playing Colors, you know what I thought.
Colors. Iced tea.
Colors, exactly.
They do need to make a remake of
There
that.
is no
huh?
others. I thought maybe Group Love had covered it.
That
Which
would
sounds-
be crazy.
Which sounds crazy as one word.
Oh,
So-
you know what?
Yeah, what?
We had some news in the Patriots.
Well, yeah.
This week,
I mean,
right?
football's blowing up. You've got free agency, and we're now about 2 weeks into free agency, which is when the Patriots tend to be most active. They're not generally a day one, make a big splash, pay the big money, get the headline guy. They tend to wait in the weeds, let everyone else do the feeding frenzy, and they kind of sit back and they'll pick the. You know what? Ultimately, I think their track record has bore out. They pick the guys that are the producers generally, and they get them for a lot less money. And
it's usually people coming in the end of their contracts or something, so they're smart about how
value.
They
get value, And I think this year, I was going to say this year is no different, but you know what? I think you could almost say this season looks like it's, the definition of that tactic with the moves that they've made so far.
Well, they picked up Martellus Bennett.
In a trade?
That's my favorite right there. Martellus Bennett actually was on my fantasy team.
Which, if you don't know, he's a tight end from the Chicago Bears. He's got 14 touchdowns in the last few seasons. Word on the street is that this gives the Patriots – I mean, now granted, you're not saying much that this gives the Patriots the most dangerous tight end duo in the league. Pairing anybody up, you could pair me up with Rob Gronkowski, and it would make the most dangerous tight end duo.
Yeah, but this guy's an equivalent of what Aaron Hernandez was. Maybe not quite as good.
Without the murder.
Without murdering people.
Yeah. Which, I mean, honestly, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I think we're going to have to wait and see. So you got that. They traded Jamie, not Jamie Collins. Was it Hightower? Who was the guy that they drafted just a couple years ago?
Oh, God.
He was a top 10 pick for them.
I can't
Jones.
remember. Yes.
Jones.
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones. I believe he was their leading
tackler. Too.
Yeah. Tons of sacks. He had 12 and a half, 13 sacks last year. They traded him really ultimately for a second-round pick.
Isn't he the dude who got arrested for the synthetic weed?
Dude, there you go. Bill Belichick does not tolerate that kind of nonsense.
Oh, man.
I mean, my guess is...
I like Chandler Jones.
What's not to like?
I thought he had potential, but I think it's for salary cap reasons.
He's coming up. This was going into his last season. I think they were...
It's his rookie contract.
Right. Maybe they didn't want to renegotiate with him. Maybe the synthetic weed thing really did hurt him. I wouldn't honestly be surprised to find out that Belichick didn't care for that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want that because Roger Goodell put the smack down on we have to give up more draft picks because somebody did synthetic marijuana.
And I think that's what this is really about. So they got a second rounder for this guy. They don't have a first round pick as it stands. I actually wonder if that's what this is. Just bundle up 2 seconds and whatever you got to do to get down into that first round.
Yeah.
That's what that felt like to me. So, you know what? While you were talking, you want to talk about Goodell?
Goodell I hate the guy.
Doesn't
so
everybody?
I love talking about
Doesn't everybody?
Who was the commissioner before Goodell? Do you remember that guy's name?
Paul Tagliabue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that kind of person?
He was a good commissioner.
He was awesome.
Do you know why?
Because he didn't overstep his boundaries. He dealt with the game.
You can't even remember the guy's name. If you're talking about the commissioner of a league
instead of the players,
that's a bad thing. And so, there's a story that was out. I think it was in maybe the Washington Times this week, maybe the Post that I saw. I don't know if you saw it too. The owners are coming out now and saying maybe it's time to take away from Goodell the disciplinary function.
And I'm all for it. I think everybody's for it. It's them working with the Players Association, working on a deal that would permanently bar the commissioner from having any role in levying discipline upon violating players. A decision that would be actually a win for everyone, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree more. Honestly, I've gotten away from the NFL in the last few years, and I think a lot of it is, I don't want to say because of Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell's tough guy style, while I think he thinks he's helping the league, what he's done is he's turned everything into a really high-profile affair. Stuff that
It's a circus.
It's a circus. Stuff that you should be quietly dealing with, hoping that it doesn't. He's made everything into a bigger deal than it was going to be otherwise. And
I mean, let's be honest, dude. When we were younger, the NFL players still got in the same kind of shit, same kind of trouble that these guys are doing. You just didn't hear about it.
Right.
So they could still be role models to people.
And his big thing the whole time now, the reason he's been taking the tough guy stance since he became commissioner was that whole quote unquote hurting the shield motto. And I honestly believe he's done more to damage the shield
than
by
anyone,
making a big deal and by, quite frankly, bungling the Ray Rice thing by initially only giving him a few games suspension. And then on the flip side, at the other end of the spectrum, and maybe this is because I'm from New England, but over penalizing Tom Brady to the point where that has now, we're going to the fucking Supreme Court over an NFL suspension because of how Roger Goodell has mismanaged discipline.
Yeah.
And the owners, they don't dislike Goodell. What he does really well, what he has always done really
finances,
sales, marketing, bringing in money. It's why he rose through the ranks of the NFL hierarchy, and it's why he ultimately was made commissioner. I don't think the owners pulled him aside and said, hey, we're going to want you to be the tough guy disciplinarian. I don't think that was on the radar at all.
No, I think he took that upon himself.
So, yeah, I would love to see some kind of a tribunal of, maybe a former player, maybe like a retired judge, something like that.
Well, and I think that's what they're trying to do. The system they want to set up is like a three person committee.
I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy can't be judge, jury, and executioner for every single player's life in the NFL. It's ridiculous to give anyone that much power.
Right. And literally what you just said is the basis of the case that's ongoing right now in federal court between the league and Tom Brady is exactly that contention. So I don't think that that's the kind of publicity that the league wants. I think they're warranted, quite frankly, in wanting to dial back from him a little bit. So
yeah, I totally support that move.
So you know what? Let's call that a segment. We're going to keep this show a little more snappy tonight, but don't go anywhere. I want to get to this week in weed. We're going to talk a little bit about Rhode Island governor. She's the governor, right? Gina Raimondo, and her stance, her new developing stance on marijuana, legalized, medical, and otherwise. And we've got 3 pretty key updates from different states around the country.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot going on. I can't wait to do
So
this
we
one.
want to get to all of that next. We're keeping it green here on the St. Paddy's Day edition of 13 Folds Radio on RI, freeradio.org.
Turn your magic on. With me, she'd say everything you want to dream away. We are legends every day. That's what she told me. Turn your magic on. To me, she'd say everything you want to dream away. Under this pressure, under this weight. We are diamonds, and I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel like I'm alive again. Not in this way. I'm a dreamer, die by light of day. Gonna hold up high the sky and say, only I own it. And I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. Oh, I can feel my heart beating. 'Cause you make me feel like I'm alive again. magical. And then she'd say, everything you want to dream away. Under this pressure, under this weight, we are diamonds taking shape. We are diamonds taking shape.
You're gonna look at me twice. Let's have control. You're there when you're not, 'cause I'm smoking in your menthos. Smoking your menthos. Wearing all your clothes again. You're wearing them, but it's one way to be together. Be together. Swim of fear. Must call fox. My arms here. I'll be ready for some. And I wanna make your wounds again. Feel like running, feel like crack, feel like going out and smashing windows, smashing windows. And in a black, black hole, deeper than death, I will wait for you in there. Just give me the breath to say it. Live together. Swallow the fear. Must go fox. My arms are here. I'll be ready for and I will make your wounds again.
Hey there, we're back here on 13 Folds Radio on RIFreeradio.org. This is it. This is the fourth segment for us. We're rounding out our show. And you just heard a little tune called Lisbon by Wolf Alice.
I thought it was Lesbos.
Dude, that's offensive. Come on. You're so
That's what I thought the song was.
you're such a caveman. Dude, is that a new song or an old song?
That's it's relatively new. Last year,
Okay. Oh, it just they've got kind of a cool like 90s, you know,
like the Breeders kind.
Breeders. I was going to say Breeders. Yeah, Pixies Breeders kind of sound.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Keep it up.
You know what else I like?
What do you like?
Oh,
Do
I
you
got
like-
it on.
how
I like
about-
silence.
Do you like intros to
I like silence. But know what I like better than
What
silence?
do you like better than silence, Dave?
The intro
To which segment?
to the week in week.
The Week in Weed. We should record something that we could then play.
It's playing. You just can't hear.
Can't hear it. It's quiet. Will they hear it? Is it?
They heard it, but
Oh.
we're talking over it. So
Okay. So we're
yeah, we
fucking
totally
up our own
just
show.
ruined it. Yes.
Well,
That's why we need a couple weeks before we go live.
better than someone fucking it up for us. We're looking at you, Freedom Man.
Oh,
So
Freedom Man's like on the lam, man.
I know he
He's
is.
running from the government.
I don't blame him. He's paranoid.
They're not. He's not wanted by the government, but
No,
he's
just
running from them.
from them. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you, unless you're Freedom Man, in which case they're not after you. You're just paranoid.
So
we
yeah,
love you,
this
Freedom Man.
this week in the Week in Weed, we had a couple of big events going on with legalization. That we'll just skim over them.
Okay.
Pennsylvania House on March 16th. That was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Approves comprehensive medical marijuana bill. The Pennsylvania House of Representatives approved the bill 149 to 43.
Wow.
That would allow residents suffering from debilitating conditions to access medical marijuana if their doctors recommended it. Much like the same thing we have here in Rhode Island.
I know you might not have the number. Maybe you do off the top of your head or in front of you. What's the What's the number at this point of states in the union where medical is the law of the land? Do you know?
Wow, I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 27, 28.
Okay. All right.
It may even be more now because I haven't really added it up
So
since
we're
Halloween.
starting to literally tip the scales, though. We're now
Oh, yeah.
past 50%.
For medical, but it
Yeah,
still
yeah.
has no medicinal purposes. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, right. It has no medicinal
right.
purposes.
Wait,
Wait, I just want to go back real quick to Pennsylvania.
All right.
I want to comment on that. Why I find that encouraging. So far, the states, the places where you've seen marijuana gaining a foothold have been, how would you characterize the states? Liberal or conservative?
I would say liberal.
Right? I think it's been easy to pigeonhole the whole cannabis movement, the cannabis question, as a quote-unquote liberal cause, thus making it easier to downplay it as a question of serious discourse in the minds of a lot of people. And Pennsylvania is not, per se, I know they're in the Northeast, but they're not a liberal state in the same way that a New York, a California, a Massachusetts, or a Vermont is. They're more of a bellwether state. And so to see them slowly marching toward this, bringing this question toward the middle, I find to be very encouraging.
Well, one of the few topics that Republicans and Democrats and everybody agrees on is legalization of marijuana.
Even Ted Cruz, I think he said he would leave up to the states. He doesn't personally support it, and God love Ted Cruz. He might be a Canadian, but he is a constitutionalist, and he said that's a states' rights issue.
All right, now Vermont marijuana bill for this is not for medical, but this is for regulation and taxation has finally it passed the Senate late last month, and now it's headed to the House. So we'll see what happens there.
And for those of you uninitiated, that means legalization. When you hear regulation and taxation, that means the state of Vermont's what did you say, Senate?
The Senate approved it.
Just approved a bill to make recreational use of marijuana legal in the state of Vermont. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Honestly, the big shock is that it didn't happen sooner.
Now, New Hampshire's been fighting it back and forth, but they just recently, the House approved marijuana decriminalization bill, which we'll see what happens with that. They've been bouncing back and forth with legalization in New Hampshire and Maine. and it's always got held up. Like in Maine, they wouldn't allow them to go through with the referendum because they're questioning like 1,000 signatures out of the 6,500,000 that they got.
That's, you know what? That's just procedural bullshit tactics. That's not going to hold up. That's not a levy that's going to stand against the flood for very long. I mean, you know, the next time the petition goes out, they're going to get 100,000 airtight signatures. So,
yeah, and I want to say the same thing happened in Massachusetts. It's ridiculous what they're pulling. But here in Rhode Island, as you know, I think this is our 6th year in a row we've introduced a legalization bill.
thanks to efforts of you specifically and our
Jared,
good friend Jared Moffat
man.
this time around.
Marijuana Policy Project has been helping out with this thing, too, here in Rhode Island, and they're really throwing a lot of support behind Regulate Rhode Island. Jared is a beast. He's at every single event. He's doing phone calls. He's having clinics on how to advocate for it. I can't say enough good stuff about
And
the
he's
guy.
like not even 25 yet.
And let me tell you what, if you get a chance, go to regulaterhodeisland.org. Check them out. If you're interested in the cause, go see what you can do for them. They need funding. They need volunteers more than anything. People working the phone banks. Go check them out. Tell them 13 Fold sent you.
13 Fold sent you. You read my mind. So yeah, what's going on here in Rhode Island? Because I liked this story. I liked what Gina Raimondo had to say.
All right, well, here's the thing: is the past 6 years, they refused to vote on the item. The House refuses to vote. They put it up for committee, and they say we're going to hold off for further study.
Yep.
All right. Well, the study's in now. Raimondo,
Gina Raimondo.
she is finally announced that she's open to the idea of opening up an open referendum on legalization. So what that means is giving the public voice an opportunity to say, this is what we want. Take it out of the politicians' hands.
You know what I liked? I liked her stance on this. Here's the quote that caught my eye. She said, I could see Rhode Island eventually getting there, but I'm not in a rush because there are issues of safety. How do you regulate it? How do you keep it out of the hands of kids, especially the edibles? I think there are probably some economic advantages to being there first, but I'd rather get it right. And you know what? That's what you want a responsible adult in the room to say.
And I agree with that approach too, but we've had 6 years to study it now.
Well, so that leads me to what I was going to say next. We've got good answers for what she's saying. There's nothing wrong with her taking what I would characterize as a positive, if cautious, approach. But she seems open to it. She personally, right there, cites the economic benefits. And I think she knows when she says that there are other concerns. I think she knows that there are other really good answers.
Yeah. No, I think she's been handling it right, but we need to make a move. This is the year we have to make a move. If Rhode Island doesn't take that initiative right now, we're going to lose a lot of commercial opportunities, and we're going to lose a lot of traffic.
The opportunity to build that infrastructure. If a Connecticut or a Massachusetts
gets it first,
gets there first,
it's nothing to us.
You're going to be behind the 8 ball. That's
Exactly.
for sure.
And we're not even talking about legalization of cocaine.
Not yet. That'll be next year. Thank God. God willing.
Now,
but I mean, it feels like the wind is blowing in that direction. I feel like Gina Raimondo saying what she's saying is an acknowledgement of the direction that the wind
but
is blowing.
she's still refusing to take a stance on it, and we need politicians that are going to take a stance. I mean, everybody says, and I even say it when I was talking about Bernie Sanders. You know, I'd love to see Bernie Sanders win the election, but he wouldn't be able to accomplish anything because Congress wouldn't be able to do it. There's a lot of elections going on, not just the presidential campaign this year.
Right.
Let's start putting some people in Congress that we're not going to have to say, oh, they won't let that happen. We need to put some people in Congress that are going to let things happen. Put some people in your local government that are going to let things happen.
We've been saying this, though, since day one in this whole project, Dave, and that is, please, if you're listening, get involved. Go to a rally, learn who believes in the same things you believe in, and vote for that person, and then support that person. Hold up a sign for that person and get involved in the future of your country. This is your country.
And don't just post a picture of them on Facebook.
and like
Schmuck.
that's come on. You got to do more than that. You got to be better than that. You're an American.
Okay, now last thing for Week in Weed, and we haven't done one in a long time, so it's good that we got to take up a whole segment on it. Marijuana stock soars 130% after a study shows its drug reduced seizures.
Yeah,
And
what-
we've been talking about this. It's the Dravet syndrome that
Yep.
they use
Yep.
it for. And
that's the Charlotte's Web
yes, it's Charlotte's Web. This is actually GW Pharmaceuticals.
named for. I believe that's George Walker Bush's company.
Is it?
Yeah.
So this company's been around for years. It's listed on NASDAQ. It's commercialized Sativex for the treatment of symptoms of
Okay.
multiple scoliosis and 4 late-stage trials on severe forms of epilepsy.
I can't wait to see this commercial on TV someday.
Now, Epidiolex is the drug being developed to target Dravet syndrome, which is what the Charlotte's Web has been for. Most CBD treatments have been used for seizures. That's where it's most effective. So I guess the trial, what I find important about it is that this is the first actual study. Like they always say, there's not enough information.
Right. We have
you
no
know,
link
we can't
to-
reclassify the
Yes.
drug because there's no study showing that it's for medical purposes.
And now here
Well,
we have
here
one.
we have another one.
And most importantly of all, perhaps, it brings in the other thing we've always said, and that's the money. That's the Wall Street angle. So now we've got both of those things being covered under one really important, maybe watershed event.
So let's see what happens. I think this is going to be big, and you know what, guys, we're running out of time, so I'm going to wrap up the Week in Weed here right now because that was the Week in Weed.
You know what, man? Are we good? You got anything else to talk about? We've been on for an hour at this point. I'm getting my voice.
You know what? We tried to do a quick show, and it still ended up going over an hour. I don't know how that happened.
You know what? Let's call it a show. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of it. Don't go anywhere. We're going to drop another one for you next week. Before you know it, you're going to have to tune in live to get this thing fresh right here on 13 Folds Radio on RIFreeradio.org.
All right, guys, and here's what you've been waiting for. A little song called Working Poor by the fantastic Negrito.
Working for that mind is on vacation. That man he cracked that whip and beat you down. I keep on knocking. I keep on knocking, but I can't get in. Feel like it's over.
first. I needed the money.
Right now, I'm like saving up to pay back my loan.
I think it sucks, though. It shows that maybe minimum wage is
Because I can't afford to live here anymore.